the soap opera part going behind the scenes. KJP and Admiral Kirby seem to be sparring. She has a huge problem with him. Obviously, she's very insecure. And anytime the war happened, Ukraine got invaded, you see things go crazy in the Middle East. You need somebody with international experience. And that's why he looked as an asset. But evidently, he couldn't call on his own reporters. She would always be there to introduce him. And then yesterday, when this happens, Kirby's there in person, and she's not. But according to Jackie Heinrich, KJP's decision to block Kirby from the briefing made reporters wait for a virtual background call to get news about the ceasefire. It did not go over well among the staff, who described it as ending on a note of ego. The administration source told Fox it's one thing to block Kirby from going to the briefing room, but it's another not to even do the homework to be able to answer the question on the most pressing issue news that had in months. Kirby had the answers, but she had to be there, even though she says and knows nothing.
Well, she didn't know Matt Miller. What State Department guy?
Even when I disagree with Kirby, you can't deny he's an effective communicator. He has the goods on what's happening.
He knows what's going on.
And this has been reported on throughout the administration that many people thought that he should have got the job. He was more competent for the job, but they gave it to her. And you see that, as you say, rightly, Brian, the insecurity there.
Okay, so
that's how she's going out, not knowing. See, my problem is not her message. Is this she doesn't get briefed. She doesn't do the reading. Jen Psaki did the reading. When she talked, I almost thought she was setting policy.
Right.
And it was almost like reversal, like Joe Biden, listen to Jen Psaki. That's where you're heading, or that's what you should be saying. With KJP, it's not a matter of preferences.
It's hard to follow.
But you got to help with the story. You got to move a story forward.
I think the answers are in the big book of answers, but she just simply doesn't read it.
She relies so much on that.
The President of the United States was, as Peter was talking about, he did a farewell speech. Usually, it's one of those things where, oh, look at all the stuff we got accomplished, all the money, you're living a better life. Good luck with the next guy, essentially. But one thing that really caught everybody's eyes was for decades, the Democrats could count on certain constituencies. And over the last, 2-3 election cycles, they've been able to count on Silicon Valley to help them out. Well, now, as you know, as we've detailed, Elon Musk is unofficial part of Donald Trump's cabinet. Mark Zuckerberg, Tim Apple, as he was referred to, is going to be at the inauguration along with Sam Altman. Silicon Valley is lining up now behind, or at least cozying up to Donald Trump. And that is driving Joe Biden, who used to count on them, crazy. He referred to them, not by name, he referred to them as the tech industrial complex from the Resolute desk last night. Watch.
You know, his farewell address, President Eisenhower spoke of the dangers of the military-industrial complex. He warned us then about, and I quote, the potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power. I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech-industrial complex that could pose real dangers for our country as well. Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation. Social media is giving up on fact-checking. The truth is smothered by lies told for power and for profit. We must hold the social platforms accountable to protect our children, our families, and our very democracy from the abuse of power.
I mean, so I just think this is a stupid move. Big Tech, who has been in the pockets of the Democratic Party for years, they sit out one election cycle because things are going so bad with the country. And now you want to make them an enemy? They helped you out the last time.
Yeah.
What about apologizing to the American people when you said that the laptop was disinformation? You knew your son was an addict. You knew he was posting things. You knew about it. And they covered for you. What about the apology to the American people on that? But they cover for you and you still bash these people?
I feel like there's so much bitterness.
Yes.
I agree with you, Steve, that when you go, usually a president would talk about his accomplishments, not a warning of their fears.
Watch your back.
Exactly. He talked about warning of extreme wealth and power and influence. He's angry at those tech individuals for not supporting him anymore because they were doing what he told them to do.
Exactly. Yelling at them, according to Zuckerberg.
And telling them to take posts down, censor certain things, and they did what he told them to do. And then it came out later when Mark Zuckerberg spoke to Congress and said he was telling us to do this. And we were following along.
You have George Soros putting DAs in to allow crime to run rampant in the city streets, as opposed to these tech executives working for nothing who want to come in and make sure we stay ahead of China in the purest form in AI and cryptocurrency. They wanted no part of cryptocurrency, but they brought David Sachs came in and said, look, I'll be the czar. Had a bunch of people to interview on crypto and on AI. I know what's going on. And I also saw the extreme repression and how hands-on and how the Biden people were picking winners and losers when it came to this business. And they said to themselves, I got the handcuffs on, this can't happen. And there is a fear. If Donald Trump did everything Elon Musk wanted him to, that's a worry, sure. But he's already showing you he's not. They're not going to be electric car subsidy for Tesla. I don't know if you know this, but Sam Altman and Elon Musk are they're suing each other. Yeah. Guess who's sitting together at the inaugural? And guess who went to Mar-a-Lago? Zuckerberg was going to get in the octagon with Elon Musk. He was invited to Mar-a-Lago and has since outly spoken. He's hosting a cocktail party at the inaugural. So he's not giving in. He's acknowledging their power while saying, he's 78 years old. He does not know the latest on crypto, and he does not know where we're heading with AI. But he knows he doesn't know, and he can put people in charge that do, and we make sure that they're hopefully ethically grounded, because we need to, and patriotic in doing this. You don't have to make the rich the enemy, the successful bad, make them feel bad that they're not given enough.
Especially think about how many people they employ. How many companies do they have? I mean, think about Amazon. Think about Tesla. All of these big companies and corporations that we rely on.
But it has nothing. It has nothing to do with the viewpoint of these guys. The only reason why Biden is upset is because they're not on his team anymore.
He's out.
They were They were totally fine when all these people, as you noted, Brian, were cutting checks to not just the president, but all to the Democratic candidates. But suddenly they start reevaluating things and just having a conversation. There's been no promises made. No promises made. Yeah, they gave to an inaugural committee, but all the companies and all the people do that. That's just respect of the presidency. They do one donation and they have conversations with the president-elect, and suddenly now we need to reevaluate these people.
Well, Donald Trump is smart because he realizes those people in big tech represent the future. Yeah. And Donald Trump is all in on making the future for the country better. Get those guys on his side. They don't all have to get along, but he can hear what they say, and then he's the decider.
It's very exciting.
Yep.
This all starts on Monday.
It does.
They're all coming together, and people who were on the left have come over and shifted because they've seen what Donald Trump can do for our country versus what Joe Biden did.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.